So the point I'm trying to make here is, if you let the wrestlers go out there and perform, let them do what they're going to do, you'll understand why they are all must-see.
Yep, exactly. Couldn't have said it better. And, you know, going back to MJF, it's so good to see him back. And honestly, we all know that his first feud is going to be up against Adam Cole, which is going to be golden when they do have that match again, which they had back last year. What was it, at All Out?
Yeah, I mean, MJF took a crazy bump. I remember that, too.
I remember the pile driver onto the announce table.
He took a brain buster.
Yep, that was an insane match. But they're going to have the rematch, of course, and that should be fun. But eventually, we need to see a feud between MJF and Will Ospreay.
Oh,
that would be fantastic.
Man, that'd be great.
Fantastic.
MJF and Swerve, that'd be great.
Yep. I think a lot of us were expecting MJF to possibly go to WWE. That would have been fun to see, but, you know.
He's just got so much stuff to do in AEW.
Yep, he's got so much unfinished
There's so much shit that he hasn't already done in All Elite Wrestling. I mean, at this point, I would want to see him hold that world title again. Yep. Because he never lost it.
And he will. There's no doubt. He has to be world champion again. I would say he is.
Look, I don't mean to interrupt you, but look at the physique this man is in right now. I mean, yes, he was bulky, you know, he put on some muscle.
Came back looking like Triple H.
Now you see him, he's a lot more leaner, he's a lot more cut. I mean, he looks like he's in the best fucking shape of his life.
Yep.
Came out resembling that Triple H old school look with the jean jacket from 2002. That was great.
That was insane.
The pop when the music hit. I love the little video package they showed before his music hit, where they showed the hallway, the mannequin with the scarf, the suit, resembling the old MJF. And now we have this
the picture with Adam Cole.
Yes. When they were the tag team, he had the title, Better Than You Baby. It was split in half, and then he comes out, the crowd erupts. Yep.
As they should. I mean, I'd say MJF is probably the biggest star in AEW. He's probably their. If I were to say compare, you know, AEW to like who's their Roman Reigns, it's definitely MJF. I mean,
I can't disagree with that.
I'd say the Cody Rhodes of AEW is definitely Will Ospreay, but the Roman Reigns of AEW is definitely MJF.
I can see that.
And that's why it's going to be so much more fun to see MJF versus Will Ospreay when they eventually do face off against each other.
Absolutely. So before we end it here, we'll talk about WWE real quick. Go and transition back to WWE. What do you see happening as far as Money in the Bank? Now, I know we have Clash in the Castle coming up in a couple weeks.
That's going to be fun.
We have NXT Battleground. Talk about surprises. Jordan Grace from TNA challenging Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship.
I mean, yeah, talk about
what the fuck? Talk about Forbidden Door.
Talk about Forbidden Door. I mean,
Ethan Page. All ego Ethan Page. We thought he was, you know, gonna renew his contract with AEW. This motherfucker just shows up in NXT.
It just goes to show
and attacks Trick Williams, and now we're apparently getting Ethan Page versus Trick Williams in the main event of Battleground.
It just goes to show you that WWE and NXT as a whole has just been elevated up to another new point because of Vince McMahon.
If there wasn't a better time to be a fan of professional wrestling, it is right now.
No, but I'm sure, of course, the biggest surprise for you was Sexy Red. That's who you're really excited to see, right? No, I'm kidding, of course. But, yeah, no, it's insane to see.
Who?
Sexy Red.
Who the fuck is that?
I mean... moving on from her, it's just incredible to see people from TNA going into WWE. I mean, we saw Jordan Grace in the Women's Royal Rumble. That was awesome.
She put on a hell of a performance.
To see her in NXT is just incredible, and it makes me wonder what else is going to happen in the future. I mean, I was always thinking it'd be fun to see Moose in the Royal Rumble.
That would be sick.
I always thought he would be a nice little surprise, but we'll see. Maybe Mr. Kennedy comes back.
You know what the feud of the summer is going to be. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that's going to be the feud.
I mean, the fact that these guys hadn't even fucking had a match yet, but they're still talking shit about each other.
It's been amazing.
And they're still showing yourself on TV. I mean, dude, I cannot fucking wait for Punk to be cleared, man. I cannot wait. McIntyre's cleared. He's getting his championship rematch at Clash of the Castle with Damian Priest. That's going to be great. It's in Scotland, too. You know McIntyre is going to be the babyface for that match.
That makes me wonder. That makes me wonder. Do you see Damian Priest losing the title?
Only if CM Punk doesn't get involved. Because I highly doubt they're just going to randomly announce that CM Punk's going to be there. He's going to show up, and he's either going to cost Drew the match, which is going to create even more heat for their potential match at SummerSlam.
Or, if Drew wins, that's going to be the title match you see at SummerSlam, CM Punk versus Drew for the World Heavyweight title.
But you have to remember, too, Gunther won King of the Ring.
That's true.
Just like how Nia Jax won Queen of the Ring. Nia has a title match at SummerSlam, potentially against Bayley, if Bayley holds on to that title. Gunther, who had a fantastic match with Sheamus on Raw, and then he also had a great match with Kofi Kingston, and then he fucking killed it with Randy Orton in the first match ever between those two at King of the Ring. Gunther has a world title match at SummerSlam as well. That's one thing that people forget. So where's Gunther going to fall into the mix here?
Now that I think of it, I think Gunther's going to be your next world champion.
I would love to see it.
It makes more sense to have CM Punk cost Drew at Clash of the Castle.
It doesn't need to be for the world title.
You're right. It doesn't need to be for the world title.
That feud is already insane enough as it is. I mean, if they wanted to do it for the world title, they can.
They could have put more stakes on it. But you know what? You're right. It doesn't need the world title because of how good the feud has been.
Yes, exactly. I think they're already done enough to make us excited for that feud that they're going to just put that world title on Gunther.
Exactly. I mean, Gunther's going to be a big, big star. He's probably going to be the #1 heel.
Already the greatest Intercontinental Champion to this date.
Yep. And it makes me think, what's going to happen to the Judgment Day once Damian Priest loses that title? Because I like the Judgment Day. I really do. But, I mean, is the Judgment Day going to break up if Damian Priest loses that title?
There's been teases. And I will say, think about this too. When Finn Balor attacked Jey Uso, Priest told him to back off. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep, you're right.
And there was a video shown from a live event where Jey Uso did the yeet with Damian Priest. So that babyface turn is coming. I think if Priest loses at Clash of the Castle to Drew, Finn Balor's either going to cost him the title if Punk doesn't show up. Finn Balor will cost him the title. Finn Balor will turn on Damian Priest. Damian Priest will transition back into a babyface. Have those two feud for a while.
Nice.
Rhea Ripley's going to come back.
She's mad.
Yeah, Liv Morgan's already great. No doubt about it. But, I mean, she's holding that title until Mami comes back.
Yep. I can only imagine how Rhea Ripley was feeling when she saw Dom kiss Liv Morgan.
Yeah, that was something, wasn't it?
I mean, I was just saying, Dom has 3 girls. Dom has Rhea. Dom has Liv. And he has a wife. I mean, Dom's living the dream. I'm sure
Dom is really... I mean, it's funny how this is already here. Dom is literally the modern day Eddie Guerrero.
Yep. You know what's going to be funny? If they actually do this, remember the custody battle for Dominic with Ray and Eddie? What if they do a custody battle between Rhea and Liv? They have to do it. Come on, that would be so funny.
Oh my God, man. Well, last thing I want to talk about, Money in the Bank. Who do you got winning Money in the Bank? I already got who I want to win Money in the Bank.
I've got 3 options in my head. For the women's, I think it can only be one option. It's got to be Tiffany.
See, I was waiting for it.
It's got to be Tiffany.
Tiffy time.
She's a rising star, and the one thing about Money in the Bank, they always give the Money in the Bank to the top rising talent.
Yes,
like last year, they did it with Damian Priest. Last year, they also did it with Io Sky. And so that's for the women, for Tiffany.
Yep.
For the men's, I've got 2 guys in mind. I think my #1 is LA Knight. LA Knight is due. He is due for a title. He is due.
If you notice, on SmackDown, he called out Logan Paul.
Yep.
And we've been wanting this.
Well, that's actually my second option. I either got LA Knight winning it or Logan Paul.
But another person that I could see winning, if, and I mean if, Damian Priest is still champion, Finn Balor.
Oh, I would love that. You know,
Finn Balor wins Money in the Bank.
He's been due for another world title.
He wins Money in the Bank. he cashes in on Damian Priest. Talk about the rivalry those two would have.
Honestly, you can't go wrong with either of those options.
If they really wanted to, I mean, shit. If Balor is still world champion, imagine Balor versus Gunther at SummerSlam.
Fantastic.
Oh, my God.
You know, I do have a dark horse for who could win Money in the Bank as well, and that's Braun Breaker. But obviously, I see them building him up slowly. As we could see, he's kind of tired of fighting jobbers.
I mean, poor fucking Ricochet got fucking demolished.
Ricochet got demolished.
Ricochet and Dragunov. Dragunov has been fantastic since he's been on the main roster. Same with Lyra Valkyria. Who? Oh, I'm taking that from JD. Oh, I'm sorry. Becky 2.0. The Bird Girl. Okay. Oh, no problem, man. I got you. See, this is how you know I watch a lot of JD. Because every time he mentions Lyra Valkyria, who? Fucking love JD, man. Oh, my God. But no, Dragunov's been fantastic. Lyra Valkyria has been great.
I will admit, her entrance at King of the Ring.
King of the Ring?
Queen, well, they're in the Queen of the Ring match. With the
feathers,
wings,
the
that
wings,
was so cool.
That was great.
That was fantastic.
Oh, my God, man.
She's definitely going to be a big star, too, coming up. She's just got to get her feet wet in the main roster.
Absolutely.
And build herself up, of course, with a couple different feuds here and there. But
yeah, so I got I could see Finn Balor winning. I could see
Tiffany, of course.
Tiffany win. Tiffany is probably the #1 for the women's Money in the Bank.
I mean, who else could win?
I really can't see anybody else, to be honest. I mean, is there really anybody else that could win that briefcase other than Tiffany Stratton?
Nobody comes to mind.
Nobody in my mind comes.
If Liv Morgan wasn't women's world champ, I would say Liv, but
I would really have to think about that. I don't know. For the men's, I kind of said Jey Uso, but I mean, he probably would just be in the match.
He'll be in the match,
I don't think
but
he'll win.
think he'll win. I think Jey Uso's more of a mid-card guy for now.
For right now,
so he's either going to win.
He can win the Intercontinental Championship.
He can definitely win the Intercontinental. But I think it's going to go to Chad Gable first. I think Chad Gable's
absolutely. I mean, that's something we did talk about previously. Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, the modern-day Team Angle. I mean, you love to see it.
Yep.
So that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about here. There was a lot of stuff to catch up on.
I mean, another thing too, I mean, for the main titles, obviously we don't see Cody Rhodes losing any time.
No.
We might see a match with him versus The Rock at SummerSlam.
Right.
That would be fun.
Right.
We don't know when Roman Reigns is coming back. That's going to be fun when that happens.
Roman is going to be one of the top baby faces,
especially
when
with
he comes
what
back.
Solo's been doing.
Solo's got Tama. Solo's got Tonga. Paul Heyman, if he just had a great segment with Kevin Owens on SmackDown where he's basically not really begging him, but he was literally asking him, like, please help me. Let me help you. Because he was warning him, you're dealing with a bunch of thugs. You're dealing with a bunch of criminals. Those are the people we don't want in the bloodline right now. Roman and the Usos are bloodlines. Solo, Tama, Tonga. I mean, if they fucking bring Jacob Fatu is already signed to WWE. We're just waiting for him to come in. At this point, you might as well bring Jacob with Roman.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Jacob Fatu and Roman together?
And I was hearing rumors of people saying that there could be a fire War Games match between the members of the Bloodline. That's going to be amazing. And eventually, if we're lucky, we get The Rock versus Roman Reigns next year. It was supposed to happen this year for the title, but obviously
Cody had to finish that story.
We knew Cody had to finish that story.
Cody had to finish that
next
story.
year with WrestleMania in Las Vegas, we knew what could happen.
Yeah.
But I think that just about covers it.
That's going to wrap up this, man. I mean, shit. There was a lot of great stuff to talk about
here.
So
many questions, so much awesome things that are going to be happening.
There's so much shit to talk about. We had to make this a 2-part video.
Yep.
But you know what? It's great. There's a lot of stuff to catch up on. Everything I wanted to talk about here. So, we're halfway through the year. It's hard to believe that. We have NXT Battleground coming up next Sunday. We have...
we got Forbidden
Door coming up at the end of June. SmackDown.
Clash of the Castle.
Clash of the Castle coming up.
We got
SmackDown in Chicago.
Money in the Bank. SummerSlam.
So much wrestling.
And then eventually Bash in Berlin, which that's going to be interesting.
Bash in Berlin. Before we end it here, you do Dragunov, you do Gunther. It doesn't have to be for a title. Let those two fucking collide. in the main event.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's in Gunther's hometown of Germany.
Yep, you're right.
Let those two fucking collide, man.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very, very, very fun.
Well, that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed until the end, we appreciate you. And give us that thumbs up, especially for this guy. We haven't seen Daniel on this channel in years, man. So definitely a surprise for me, to say the least. I was not expecting that. So welcome back, buddy.
Yep, it's good to be back, and we're just in a great spot for wrestling.
Yes, we are, man.
Just think to back when I was here. I mean, things were good back then, we thought, but I mean,
much has changed.
We couldn't have had imagined what it would be like now.
Right.
I mean, now that Vince McMahon's gone, it's just been incredible. AEW wasn't even a thing back then. I mean, yeah, it's just a good time to be a wrestling fan.
It's been amazing, man. Well, that's everything I wanted to talk about here. Anything you want to add up?
Nope, that's about it. I mean, got some good things coming up. I mean...
Well, I've been Ryan Winchester. This has been DK Cards, Daniel Coleman. And thank you guys so much for watching. Like button, subscribe, favorite, comment. Let us know what you thought. And if you have anything else you want to let us know in the comment about what your predictions are, what do you see happening in the future for WWE, for AEW, for wrestling overall, let us know in the comment section down below. And I will see you all in the next video. So with that being said, have a great night, guys. Peace.